Congregation Bible Study, September 15th to 21st, 2025. Analysis with question and answer. Let's start by answering the questions from the paragraphs. Let's begin by analyzing Lesson 18, The Burning Bush. We now answer the following questions. What did Moses see while he was taking care of his sheep? While Moses was taking care of his sheep near Mount Sinai, he saw something truly amazing. A thorn bush was on fire, but it was not burning up. This unusual sight caught his attention and led him to go closer to understand what was happening. It was through this miraculous sign that Jehovah, by means of an angel, began speaking to Moses and gave him a life-changing assignment. Let's move on to the next question. What did Jehovah want Moses to do? Jehovah wanted Moses to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of slavery. He told Moses that he had seen the suffering of his people and was going to rescue them and bring them to a good land. Moses was the one chosen to carry out this important mission. Even though Moses felt unsure and asked what he should say or do if the people didn't believe him, Jehovah reassured him with powerful signs and the promise of help, including support from his brother Aaron. With Jehovah's backing, Moses was to act as his representative to deliver the Israelites. Let's move on to the next question. What does this teach us about Jehovah? This account teaches us that Jehovah is a caring and attentive God who sees the suffering of his people and takes action to help them. He is not distant or indifferent. He listens, feels compassion, and moves powerfully in behalf of those who are loyal to him. It also shows that Jehovah is holy and deserves deep respect, as seen when he told Moses to take off his sandals on holy ground. Additionally, Jehovah is patient and understanding. When Moses felt inadequate, Jehovah gave him reassurance, signs of support, and even arranged for Aaron to help him. All of this shows that Jehovah equips those he chooses and never leaves them alone in their assignments. Next question. What practical lessons can we learn? This account offers several practical lessons that can strengthen our faith and guide our service to Jehovah. First, we learn that Jehovah is aware of our trials and will act at the right time to help us, just as he saw the suffering of the Israelites and stepped in to rescue them. This reassures us that Jehovah cares deeply about each one of us and never ignores our pain. Second, when Jehovah gives us an assignment, he also gives us the support we need to carry it out, whether through his Spirit, practical guidance, or the help of fellow believers, just as he provided Aaron to assist Moses. Third, Moses' humble reaction teaches us to show deep respect for Jehovah's presence and direction, treating spiritual matters as sacred. Lastly, we are reminded that we don't have to rely on our own abilities. Jehovah can use anyone who is willing, even if they feel unqualified, and he will give them the words and courage needed, just as he promised Moses. Now we move on to the analysis of Lesson 19, the first three plagues. First question. What were the first three plagues? The first three plagues that Jehovah brought on Egypt were, first, the water of the Nile River was turned into blood, making it stink, killing the fish, and leaving no clean water to drink. Second, a massive infestation of frogs spread throughout the land, invading homes, beds, and even food bowls, causing great discomfort. Third, Jehovah turned the dust of the ground into gnats, small biting flies, which covered the land and irritated the people. These plagues were a powerful demonstration of Jehovah's strength and a warning to Pharaoh to obey his command to let his people go. Next question. Why did Jehovah cause these plagues? Jehovah caused these plagues to teach Pharaoh a clear and powerful lesson, that he is the true God and that his name and authority must be respected. Despite repeated warnings through Moses and Aaron, Pharaoh responded with pride and refused to let the Israelites go, even increasing their suffering. Jehovah used the plagues to show that he sees oppression, he defends his people, and no human ruler can stand against his will. As stated in Jeremiah 16:21, Jehovah wanted the Egyptians, and everyone, to know his power and his name. Let's move on to the next question. What does this teach us about Jehovah? This account teaches us that Jehovah is a powerful and patient God who acts at the right time to defend his people. Even though Pharaoh was stubborn and cruel, Jehovah did not ignore the suffering of the Israelites. He took action to confront injustice and prove that his name and will must be respected. It also shows that Jehovah gives people opportunities to change, as he sent multiple warnings before each plague. Yet, when those warnings are ignored, he has both the authority and the means to carry out justice. Above all, it reminds us that Jehovah's power is unmatched, and his purpose will always succeed. Next question, what practical lessons can we learn? This account offers several practical lessons that are useful for our daily life and worship. First, we learn that Jehovah will always stand up for his people. Even when powerful forces oppose them, he sees their suffering and acts at the right time. This gives us confidence to remain faithful and patient during trials. Second, we see the danger of pride and stubbornness like Pharaoh's. Resisting Jehovah's direction brings serious consequences, so we should always keep a humble, obedient heart. Third, Jehovah gave Pharaoh repeated chances to listen before each plague, showing that he is merciful and fair. We too should be patient and reasonable when dealing with others. Finally, these events remind us that Jehovah's name and power are not to be taken lightly. Our words, actions, and worship should always show deep respect for him and trust in his authority.